How's it going, guys? It's your boy Raf, and welcome to my new series called Freelance Diary. A new series I'm going to be talking about my experience as a videographer, doing freelancing stuff, and eventually kind of covering topics you might be coming across if you start working for yourself, especially in creative industry, just like what I'm doing here now. I've only been doing this for a year, so I'm fairly new to this really, but I want to get better, and hence why I'm making like more weekly videos, and I'm kind of working on my personal projects as well. I've recently stopped banging out music videos because I feel like they're not really taking me anywhere I want to, and therefore I'm kind of slowing it down and actually thinking to myself, what do I actually want to do, what I want to shoot, and hence why I've been now making more YouTube content to help you guys as well with everything what I'm going through, because I feel like sharing this knowledge is going to be helpful to a lot of you probably. But in this episode we're going to be talking about cheap clients. Having cheap clients is going to be a emotional roller coaster for you. So a few months back, I came across a client, a music artist, which was up for shooting with me, and what I didn't expect is to be ripped off from the artist and basically wasting my time with him. Obviously at the time, I was basically shooting pretty much for free for most part, just to build up my portfolio. So when someone actually offered me some money, I was like, oh, holy shit, I'm actually doing this, you know. I was dead surprised, but eventually I tried to set myself a goal of getting paid 100 quid. That was my half day rate for 4 hours, and eventually that's what I wanted to stick with. And this person, which I'm not going to name for obvious reasons, tried to always lowball me. So in this case, when I said, oh, my minimum rate is 100 quid, he was like, oh, but it's only going to be for an hour, can you do anything lower than that? So eventually we ended up settling on 40 quid for an hour of shooting time, which was supposed to be only 1 or 2 takes, kind of quick freestyle sort of shoot. That was never really the case. What happened was I ended up being there for 2 to 3 hours, wasting my time, because the artist was not respecting my time, and therefore he was messing me around in a sense. So I came up to the shoot, set everything up, and he wasn't ready for me to shoot. So then we ended up waiting for him, and then every 5 minutes he would go for a ciggy break, which was irritating at most. But like, that's only a beginning of this nightmare really, because when it came to editing stage, after we finished shooting for almost 3 hours, it was constant retakes of editing, because he wasn't happy with my vision, and he had very specific vision, but he wasn't clear on what he exactly wants, which only made my time less valuable in a sense, because I had to send him about 5 drafts before I actually sent the one he actually liked. But then it all came down to your time. So for this 1 hour shoot, I've probably wasted about 10 to 15 hours of my time for 40 quid, which just doesn't add up. So the take of the story is, if someone doesn't respect your time, and if he's trying to lowball you, it's a big red flag. It's going to be a big red flag not to even bother with those sorts of people, because they are the ones which won't respect your time and therefore not even prepare for the shoot, and it's going to be more of a headache than it's worth, especially for those 40 quid. So now I stick to my half day rate, and I don't go any lower than that, for the sake of those 40 quid, which I probably lost in petrol getting there and back, and with all my time I've probably been on few pennies an hour at this rate. So value your time as no one else will, and if you allow them to go over you, you'll probably hurt yourself more. So in my case, I always set myself price that even if it's the worst day of my life doing that shoot, it's going to be worth it for that money. So always make sure you're getting paid for your time, because otherwise no one else will. But I know it is a struggle as starting out freelancing, especially since you don't have a big portfolio. So my best advice is to work on your own terms, for free, because if you're doing work for free, you have to benefit from it yourself. So be in control, and eventually build up your portfolio from then, to be able to then start charging your rates. I think I've made probably 5 to 7 videos before I even made my first sort of client where they actually paid me, not including the cheap one. But it just shows you that no, not everyone will be respectful enough of your time. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get those paid clients. And what I've recently realized is music artists are generally cheap. Not everyone, but for the most of them are broke, especially the ones starting out. So in my case, doing music videos, it's quite hard, and it's a quite hard industry to go into, because not many people have money and everyone wants to save up, especially on those videos. And over time, as technology gets better, people will try to lowball you even more. So before that, in early 2000s, a lot of artists had a big budgets for music videos, and as the time goes down, that budget only kept decreasing as the music industry changed over time, and now the budgets for music videos are so much lower, and they are still expecting to be even better than what they were before, with all their £1 million budgets. So a lot of artists will also have those unrealistic expectations of the sets, of everything, and how much everything costs to shoot a music video, because it's not cheap. Locations, props, models, and obviously you need to include your time as a director, as a videographer, and like if you need any assistance, any second cameras or anything like this, it all adds up. But for a lot of starting out artists, that's not going to be the case, and they only want to probably shoot a music video for 50, 100 quid, which is really nothing, just about bare bones, considering it's only you're paying for your own time, not including anything else out there. So try to step away from those cheap clients and find yourself someone who is willing to pay the big bucks for your time. Hopefully that all makes sense to you guys. If you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like. I'm gonna make more content just like this. There'll be way more episodes in Freelance Diary, so keep an eye on it. Keep that notification bell on, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.